Hello and welcome to the TechRaptor podcast. My name is Andrew Stretch. I'm here today with two beautiful guests.
Hi, I'm Robert Scarpanito, your features editor.
I'm Austin Souther, staff writer.
So this is going to be a kind of cool podcast because you guys have just come back from PAX. I have seen you guys have been posting all kinds of stuff up on the site, lots of previews and impressions and stuff, which is fantastic. I'm in the dark for a lot of the stuff, so kind of looking forward to going over some of that with you. But before we get to that, Astro Bot has just released. Fantastic game. I'm playing it. I know that Austin has started it. And by the end of this, hopefully we'll have peer pressured Scrappy into buying it as well.
Oh, no, I've been peer pressuring myself. It's a time issue that is stopping me.
So
it's fair. I mean, it's pretty pick up and go kind of game, so you won't have a problem with it.
They do that perfect thing. I even said this in my review. It's like the perfect, like every level is 5 to 10 minutes. So you know that you can like go and sit down and play a level and walk away. But then you also have that like, well, I've got time for one more. And then you end up being there for another 3 hours.
Like every level feels like 5-10 minutes, but I also like keep doing random bullshit in the level. Like there's this one early level that's like snow and like a bunch of sprinkles because it kind of has this like cream, like ice cream look, and I just kept running in the snow and like spinning myself to make the sprinkles go everywhere because it was so addicting. And like you feel it in the controller too, like literally every step or like every action, so it's so satisfying even if it serves no purpose really.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what Astro Bot's always been about, right? Like that tech demo that released with the PS5, like it was on your PS5. That thing was all about like, look at how nifty this DualSense is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, sorry, well, one other thing, I guess, tech demo, yeah, that's true. And I think in this case, they just kind of took it a step further. So that's why it feels even better on the controller this time around.
This and Astro Bot's Playroom are the two only games that I have felt have done the haptic controller right.
Oh, yeah, you're one of the haptic haters, aren't you?
Yeah, because I feel like so many games include it in the same way that like a 3D movie was like legally obligated to have that like one shot where someone grabs something so that you can like have that 3D moment. I feel like a lot of the PlayStation games that use it just have it as that, that gimmick enough that it's present for the PlayStation release, but it's not going to impact an Xbox, a Switch, a PC release, which just makes all of them feel gimmicky. But in a game like Astro, where what you're interacting with like might actually be a DualSense on the screen, it feels more genuine. Like the lack of trying to hide it, being very honest about, well, what's haptic is this because the DualSense on the screen literally has thrusters and you're igniting the thrusters. That made it feel way better.
Wait, so is your argument for why haptics feel like if there was an Xbox game or there was a 3D Xbox controller on the screen, would that make the haptics in an Xbox controller feel good?
I think what they're trying, because like the haptics in the Xbox controller are just the rumble.
It's just a rumble, yeah. It's not as precise.
With the DualSense, where it's trying to be like, oh, you pull on your drawstring, and the trigger gets slightly more tense. Or the most egregious version of this that I'm aware of
is egregious.
Well, I was going to say Final Fantasy 16, where 99% of the doors that you walk through, you press X to go through. And then there's like 2 or 3 doors in the game that you have to go up to and hold down right trigger so that Clive can push the heavy door. That's just, haptics for the sake of haptics. There's no reason for that to exist.
Yeah, but it really makes you feel like Clive.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But
I think
a big part of Astro Bot, and we will definitely return to the Astro Bot conversation because we're not leaving it, but a big part is the collectibles that are inspired by early PlayStation characters or just the history of characters on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put together a quiz for you guys to go through some of these references from easy to hard, because each of them has like a different name. So Sully from Uncharted is the mustachioed mentor. So I've got 9 Astro Bots that you're gonna see their name. Actually, let's just roll over.
It's gonna be kind of embarrassing for me because I didn't grow up with like PlayStation. I was a Nintendo Xbox kind of guy, and so some of these references go over my head, even though I recognize like I'm like, hey, that's the guy from Eco or wherever the hell that name is. Their game is. Yeah, it took me a second, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
If it makes you feel any better, I think his name is just the Horn Boy. So you can probably get that with the description.
That was awfully close to something else.
But so we are going to be playing Stretch's Astro Bot quiz of how well do my friends know PlayStation franchises, from easy to some pretty fucking obscure ones.
Sure.
I like to
so
know.
Here's the kind of rules of the game: 9 Astro Bots, easy, medium, hard. Points will be earned based on how quickly you get it. An example here: Dad of Boy. If you get that it's Kratos, that's 3 points.
Is it Master Chief?
3.
Master Chief.
Yes, Master Chief. That's exactly it.
Famously a father.
He's a daddy, all right.
If you get the game but you aren't sure of the character name, then we'll address it as is. So we're going to start with round 1, the aristocratic archaeologist.
Lara Croft.
Boom. See, it's easy.
Oh, I mean,
scrappy.
I guess it kind of transcends like consoles then, because I was just thinking PlayStation only.
Yeah, that's the kind of the weird thing, right? Is like PlayStation's been around a while, where there are games that have kind of transformed beyond it. You know what I mean? Like
because there were characters I've noticed that like were like, well, I mean, is that really a PlayStation thing? But I do appreciate that.
Think about Crash Bandicoot is technically an Xbox mascot now.
Yeah.
And there's some people who probably kind of think of Final Fantasy X as a PlayStation game, just because it was exclusive on the PS2 for a long while.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? No Final Fantasy characters.
That's
really?
Not too crazy.
Not even Clive.
Clive is the most iconic Final Fantasy.
Yeah, but look, he was,
sure.
PlayStation 5 exclusive for a bit at least.
All right, so
not Cloud.
Okay, well,
round 2, the tattooed dragon.
Spyro? No.
The guy from Yakuza.
Kiryu,
right?
Kiryu. Yeah,
I'm gonna give that one. Kiryu.
Yeah. I got it. That was me.
This one's got a great interaction that when you punch him, just shit drops out of him, and it's like all the different weapons that you can pick up to beat people up with.
Oh, nice.
Round 3, the Royal Roller.
Oh shit.
The thing that was Bomb Rush Roller fuck, Jet Set Radio. No, that's Dreamcast.
Yeah, but that's not PlayStation. Royal Roller.
Royal Roller. If you want
Katamari? The Katamari guy.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
You got it. The Prince from Katamari.
I think the only reason I got that was because I literally got them last night.
That'll do it.
Oh, so you have a home field advantage here. That's not fair.
A little bit, but we'll see.
That's it. Barely. Round 4. First of the mediums, we've got the Fragile Knight.
I don't know, Dark Souls guy.
This is also a bit of a weird one because this might not be something that you immediately think of as a PlayStation.
Fragile Knight. I don't.
Okay, we can move on to the second one if you're okay with that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Relieved that they remembered to put on underwear.
Huh?
That makes it worse. That somehow made it worse.
What?
Medieval?
Not medieval. That's a good guess, though. A fragile knight who's relieved that they remembered to put on underwear.
I don't know. That's
okay.
Johnny from Metal Gear Solid?
No, I don't even know who Johnny is.
He shits his pants in every Metal Gear Solid game.
Oh. Well then. Okay, we'll move on to the blurry image.
Oh, it's fuck. Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah.
Oh.
King, or Arthur. Yeah.
It is Arthur from Ghosts and Goblins.
There you go.
Round 5, we have Watermelon Buster.
Raiden.
Correct.
Hey,
Yeah,
Random Machine, son.
okay.
Hey.
All right. Look at you.
All right. Moving on to round 6, Trusty Steed.
I don't know, the horse from Shadow of the Colossus.
You fucking nailed it.
All right, cool.
Nice.
It doesn't even have a name.
Its name is Aggro.
Okay, well,
Why
did you know that?
pros
Laura?
do any aggro is a fun hint.
I'll take it.
Round 7. This is where we're getting into the hard stuff. Gifted Soul.
Jack or Daxter?
It is neither. There is an Astro Bot for Jack. You can get Daxter out of a gacha machine.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice. Good.
Okay.
Gifted Soul. Rayman.
What is he gifted for?
He's a flying lump. I don't know.
Okay, we'll move on to
next one.
Has a not so imaginary friend.
Knack? No.
Jojo?
Knack I was tempted to put into the medium difficulty.
Wait, you're telling me Knack is in this game?
Yeah, Knack's in the game.
The
Holy
most
shit.
iconic PlayStation mascot.
I can't believe it.
Which
Okay, that's
may
good.
kind of have been true up until recently. I could see an argument for it. Gifted Soul has a not so imaginary friend.
I
I got nothing.
got
Okay.
nothing either.
Here's the blurry image.
Quiet?
No,
Ellie?
not quiet. Not Ellie. That's comedically close, though.
Ellen.
Ellen?
Beyond Two Souls.
I
The
don't know, man. I'm
character
just
from
trying to
Beyond
think.
Two Souls. Is that
It
it?
is. It is Jodie from Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know shit about that game, so
I had to look up what her name was.
It's one of David Cage's many masterpieces.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for David Cage's new Star Wars game that's never happening too.
Yeah.
All right, round 8, the penultimate round. I'll say at the moment, Austin is 3 points in the lead. So it's surprisingly close. We've got a pure-hearted puppet.
Fuck. Is it a Sackboy?
It is not Sackboy.
Is it the Lies of P? Is it Pinocchio?
It is not Lies of P either.
Pure-hearted puppet.
I don't know who a pure-hearted puppet would be.
Okay, I'm going to move on. Prone to losing their head?
Alisa from Tekken?
No.
Is Tekken in the game? I kind of like. I feel
think
like
it
it
is.
would be.
There's a
And it's Kazuma, right?
There's Kazuma,
Right?
yeah. If you punch the Kazuma, he goes into devil form and shoots a laser beam at you.
Oh, Kazuya.
Yeah, Kazuya.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, see,
Pure-hearted-
tells you how much I know.
Pure-hearted puppet prone to
Heroes.
losing their head.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in the hard
Blurry
category.
image.
I didn't expect to get any of these.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know who
Is
that
that
is.
giant scissors?
Those are giant scissors, yeah.
Is this Clock Tower?
No, it is not the Scissor Man. So this is Kutaro from the game Puppeteer on the PlayStation 3.
I've never even heard of that.
From what I could tell, this was a game that released very late into the life cycle that just, got zero fanfare.
How do you expect us to get that?
It's the hard category.
It is a
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
obscure one,
sure.
and now I'm wondering, is folklore in this game? Because that's an obscure PS3 launch title.
I don't know is going to be my answer.
Mm.
For the
Remember when
final round.
Bioshock was in that Smash clone for PlayStation? I wonder if they put
Yeah,
All-Star?
PlayStation All-Stars Battle
Yeah.
Royale.
That would have been cool if they had like Big Daddy in this.
Yeah.
That's a fun game.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
So we got Dream Chaser.
It's not Psychonauts, but that's the first thing that
It's-
popped into my head.
It's definitely Kratos.
Um,
You know that he's
Dad,
dad
is
of boy.
is it
Literally Chaser.
Is it Persona 5?
It is not Persona 5. There is one Persona 5 character in the game, but if I put up Phantom Thief, you would guess that pretty quickly. That's
Right,
beyond
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Okay. He has the right to bear arms.
Nah, see, since that's an acronym, I feel like I know where that's from, but again, it's on the hard. So
Jack from Tekken 5.
No.
you gotta get Tekken out of your head.
Bear arms.
Oh.
ARMs. Wild Arms? Is it the Wild Arms kid?
It is Rudy Rough Knight from Wild Arms.
Okay, yeah, sure. Wild Arms.
I literally only know the name Wild Arms, and I was just like, that's a guess. Sure.
Okay, so I knew that this was Wild Arms, but I didn't know the guy's name, so I had to look up character sprite sheets to find the one with the blue hair so that I could figure out what this dude's fucking name was.
Damn. Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah,
Rudy,
good for you.
Rudy Rough Knight.
I guess that's a tie, isn't it?
No, because Scrappy got it on the second clue, which means that
right.
one point Austin wins 10-9.
All right, I'll take it. I mean, it's like not really a satisfying win, but I'll take it.
Yep.
And with that, we can return to discussing the game, because the references in there are obscure, are wild, are so surprising when they pop up.
Yeah, and like for me, again, I didn't like grow up with PlayStation games, so I feel like I would probably appreciate it a bit more. But I still find it pretty fun just to like see who they throw in. You know, they've got a whole Spyro in there, and like he doesn't even look like a robot; he's just Spyro. It was weird, but I like it. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah, because my understanding of the game, it's platformer a la like Super Mario like 64, right?
But Mario Galaxy 3.
Yeah,
just like that.
Instead of collecting stars, though, you collect Astro Bots, right? Like all those mascots we just went through.
It's a linear level, and across the course of the level, there are Astro Bots hidden. So probably the closest thing would be comparing it to something like the 8 red coins stars in Mario 64. But they also do a really smart thing that, you collect them all in order. So if there's 7 Astro Bots in the level and you get 1, 2, 3, and then you get 5, then okay, I missed something. There is something hidden between this point and this point that I can go back to.
Yep. And you can easily go back. Like you're not like barred from it from what I've seen, because I did skip like 1 or 2, and I could always go back and find it pretty easily.
Right, but you don't have to collect all of them to like complete the game, right?
I mean, you have to complete a certain number in order to unlock like the end stage of that galaxy, but you don't have to do every single one in each galaxy. Yeah.
There is like collect all 300. There's a special thing at the end. But if you're just wanting to get through the story, then I think you only need to get like 220 out of the 300.
And when you say special thing, do you mean a platinum trophy or like actually something valuable?
Don't spoil it.
Not just a platinum trophy.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I will say that much.
Okay.
I'm not one to 100% games, but this one feels like one I want to get the puzzle pieces too and all that.
It's an extremely easy 100%, because also if any level that you go back into, there's a little bird cage at the start that you can spend 200 coins to unlock that bird, and then as you're moving through the level, when you're near any collectible, whether it be an Astro Bot, a puzzle piece, or an alternate exit, it will start like blinking and looking in the direction of the thing. So it's
you I didn't want to spoil it, and it's probably not a spoiler, but you said alternate exit. That's something really cool that I didn't expect. Should we go into that?
Sure.
Okay, well, I'll just keep it brief. It's like you guys played Super Mario Wonder. It's like how there's a different like harder world that you can go to. In like you find it hidden in certain regular levels. and I think it's kind of like that. I haven't tried the levels there yet because I knew I'd probably save those for last. But you have even more to like that you can do on top of just the regular galaxies that you already have.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like in Odyssey? There's like that dark side of the moon, darker side of the moon kind of stuff.
No, it is more levels. I wouldn't say that they're particularly challenging. There are other more challenging levels spread out through the place, but the secret world is I'd honestly liken it a little bit more to the Star World of Super Mario World. That like you reach an alternate exit, and it means that you basically just get a whole other world, another level to play in.
Yeah.
And there are 10 secret levels spread across the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is not a hard game, but is one that is fun from start to finish so far, and kind of had to pace myself a bit because I'm like, man, I want to play more. So I went to play Outlaws instead, and boy, the whiplash there. But
Yeah, they're the same kind of game, very similar.
yeah,
They are both set in galaxies.
like it's like you have one game that is so like it's so clear in its vision. It doesn't like want to add a whole bunch of extra like bullshit to waste your time. And then you have Star Wars Outlaws, which is a fine game so far, but like I don't know. Again, I'm just like, well, I want to go back and play Astro Bot, but then if I do, I'm not gonna have any more because I'll be done.
Bro, that's me. That's me right now. Especially like needing to get the review done. I played the entire thing across 2 days, and now I'm just sad and without more Astro Bot to play. Because I accidentally 100% complete the core of the game just because it was fun.
We've all been there.
And then went back to mop up the trophies that I was missing. And that's now my third ever platinum.
Yeah, I might shoot for platinum there. Like you said, it's not too hard. And I have a friend who wants to play it really bad, and he doesn't have a PlayStation, so I think it'd just be fun to watch him like just try it out because he's really into platformers as well. And I think there's didn't they say there's DLC on the way? Didn't we have an article on the site saying there's gonna be like some content?
Yeah, they're gonna add new content, including challenge levels and something to do with speed running. So I don't know whether that's just gonna be like a skip cutscenes kind of mode. So that you can speed run the whole game without having to worry about cutscenes, or whether they'll be like adding speed run challenges to like specific levels.
I'd love it if they added like just another galaxy or something. And like I said, I'm saying this as not having finished it, but I love the level design and the charm of it so much that I could have like infinite amounts of these levels and probably be satisfied. Well, I would be satisfied for sure.
I mean, is this the first major PlayStation platformer in like, I don't know, since
Astro Bot's Playroom?
Yeah, kinda. Because I don't know. I mean, like the last one I can think of right now is Jack and Daxter. I can't remember any in the PS3 era. So that was around the time they were transitioning into those like, you know, story based like Nathan Drake kind of platforms around, but it's definitely not the same thing.
It's a good question.
Yeah, at least like major big ones.
To be fair, I do think I count Astro's Playroom as its own game because it's very well made and, you know, it has like a structure to it and everything. But like, if we put that away, anything before that, I can't really think.
Shit, we were joking about it, but probably Knack.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, dead ass. Knack 2 might be the last one.
How could we forget?
How could we, honestly? Wow.
Yeah, Knack was their last shot at a platformer, but even that was like, you were saying earlier that Astro Bot so clearly understands its vision that it doesn't need to like add on. It absolutely nails everything that it's doing. Knack trying to add that building kind of mechanic, and even like Crash Bandicoot 4 tried to add way too much. and that really bogged it down and made it a worse product in the end. Astro Bot manages to actually nail that feeling, that vibe of a late 90s 3D platformer collectathon, just with better controls, better graphics, sound design. They just really fucking nailed it.
You know, I don't remember where I said this. It may have been in our team chat, but I unironically think 3D platforming games might be like peak gaming because I find it very hard not to have fun with them unless you're like Balin's Wonderland or something.
Austin, didn't you like just write a feature about how visual novels are the only type of video game you'll play from now on?
Okay, well that's a little hyperbolic, sir. I
mean, he's seen the light.
Made me a fan. Man, yeah.
What is a visual novel if not a platformer for your eyeballs and the words are the platforms?
Yeah, I don't like what you're trying to get at.
You don't like that?
No, I don't.
Amazing.
Peak gameplay is just pressing A, all right? And actually, you know what? All you're doing in Astro Bot is just pressing like one button to jump. So
it's a baby game for babies.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And if you know how to read, I mean, that's baby shit too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. But I do think you're onto something. Well, you're onto something there because I think of like Nintendo. Every time they release a 3D Super Mario game, like it's always pretty good, if not game-changing, revolutionary, genre-defining shit. You know what I mean? Like they're always easy to have fun with, and it's kind of wild when you think about like all of Nintendo's other competitors and how few of them really attempt this 3D platformer energy. Like I feel like we've gotten more indie and Kickstarter funded 3D platformer collectathons than like PlayStation or Xbox.
Like Hat in Time was a fantastic analog for Super Mario Sunshine. Like that absolutely nailed that vibe. And the Demon Turf, that's the other one. That's fantastic as a platformer as well. But it is nice to see the large companies realize, oh shit, we can, and for this to all happen on the same week as Concord's shut down, is just, you couldn't have written this better. Like,
dude, I saw this tweet. Speaking of Concord, like there's like a skeleton Astro Bot like dead in the ground, and somebody's like, "Oh look, they put Concord in the game."
Oh my god!
Like, bro, too soon. It's fucked up.
I guess that's kind of a fair point. Yeah, because like we're recording this the day after. We're recording this day one post Concord PC, as I call it, PC day one. How do you all feel different? Do you sense something has changed in the air?
No.
Okay, fair.
I mean, I feel like, going back to when we had the conversation about live service games a few weeks ago, it's just like, it's such a massively dominated space that if you're not confident that you're going to bring something that can top Overwatch or, whatever the respective games in their fields are, then it's never made business sense to me to try. Like if your goal is, well, we've made this game for 8 years, people will be playing it and buying battle passes for another 8 years. But any game that just doesn't have that momentum is going to fail. And Concord, poor boy, that fucking failed.
It was really sad, and like I have this morbid part of me that hopes that like Jason Schreier dives into just like how bad that turned out to be. Like he's the guy that would probably do a pretty damn good article just like giving us the insight on like the in studio, I guess, talk and like what's going on. But I think as far as that failing, like the writing was kind of on the wall before it even happened.
Yeah, I mean, because I think there'd definitely be a lot of really interesting insight from the people in the studio from the people playtesting it, but like, you know, what happened was all very public. It was a game that got very little advertising, that, you know, no one was really sure what it was until far too late, and just no one showed up. But you know, Sony would have had all kinds of metrics of like, well, you know, 80 people have pre-ordered it on the store. Is that a red flag? Maybe. Like, oh, we should run a beta weekend and see what interest looks like. Oh, we had 10% server load. That's probably not good.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is that like the beta probably performed better than the actual game because it was free, you know?
Potentially.
Oh wait, no, did you have to pre-order it? But either way, it feels like it. I saw more people talking about the beta than like and playing it than like actually on release.
I wonder if the impressions from a beta would have removed from the already small purchase pool, and whether a lesson that they might take away is to not do a beta weekend.
Maybe that'll solve their next live service game, because they still have quite a few cooking, right?
Yeah, they've got like this heist game or something that I remember seeing.
Oh, man, isn't it like it's Game Funds or something like that?
I don't know, but like I saw what people thought about it, and I have a feeling like it might be another Concord.
Fair Games.
Fair Games, yep.
So that was one that I saw someone talking about on Twitter 3 days ago, and I went, what the fuck is this? Why have I never heard of this? And apparently it was announced like a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I had a trailer.
And that's the weird thing, because like they announced that far in advance. As far as I know, it's not even coming out next year. Might be, who knows. Concord, they announced that like less than 6 months ago or something. And then they just threw it out to die. So there wasn't even any time for like them to build hype, if there was ever going to be any hype for it.
Yeah, Concord teaser trailer was a year ago, and then that cinematic trailer 3 months ago was the first time we saw anything. Yeah, gameplay trailer 3 months ago. Yeah, literally it's insane. I'll be
honest, you said teaser trailer a year ago. I don't even remember that. So
yeah, I think it was at it was at opening night live, because I think it was at the same show that they teased that other space game with Robin, that Robin song, Dancing on My Own.
I have no clue.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember what it was, but I don't know. There's just so many of these games out there, right, that it's like hard to remember them.
So the teaser trailer for Concord was like, you know, beautiful like setting shots inside the spaceship as it's traveling at like hyperspeed. I probably watched this teaser trailer and thought, oh cool, Sony's going to be doing a, you know, prestige third party, their own Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing. And then I would have immediately turned it off as soon as I learned that it was a PvP first-person shooter.
Yeah, but Astro Bot's great. Astro Bot's great. It's saved PlayStation.
Really though.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you actually think about it, because I know you're gonna really enjoy it. So
yeah, I mean, I'll probably like it. I mean, it's hard to hate platformers for the most part.
Yeah. Well, there's some funny stuff that happens that you're just like, all right, cool, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
But so we've chatted a lot about Astro Bot. Thank you guys for taking the quiz. But I did want to get an idea from you guys, having been on the floor at PAX. I'd love to hear from you guys. Maybe not everything, but like, what are, you know, the most excited things you came away from, or maybe even some surprises that you thought were going to be, you know, one thing and you came out really positive.
I've got a good one to start with, because it was probably my biggest surprise from the show floor, just because I didn't expect it to be to work as well as it does. Because there was a presser we got in our inboxes for a game that combined Gears of War Horde mode with Overcooked. And it's called Pizza. Yeah, it's called Pizza Bandit. So it's just a third-person shooter. It's very serviceable. Your primary, secondary, melee, grenades. You can probably imagine it, right? Third person, and you fight against hordes of, at least in the demo we played it with, I think it was like robot things. But while you're doing that, you get orders coming in, and you have to make pizza. So there's like a station with the dough there, and then you need to grab the cheese, put it on, grab the mushrooms, put it on, put the pizza in the oven, wait for it to cook, put the oven in a pod, like a delivery pod, and then load it with either beer or soda, depending on the order, and a side of bullets, because why not? And then let the pod go. And you do that enough times to finish the mission.
Okay, when you said that it was like Overcooked, I was imagining like cutesy graphics, cutesy animals or something.
No.
But no, these are human ass people,
Yes.
but you're like in a chef's coat with
Yes.
a pleated hat.
Yeah. Yes. It's
This
like
looks bonkers.
if you imagine Dom from Gears of War, but like less wide, but wearing a chef hat. You're close. It looks very Unreal Engine 5e to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's from this development studio, I think in Korea, and it's just such a silly, like, it looks so serious. Like if you look at your average screenshot of the game, it looks kind of serious until you look deeper into it. But the whole concept is so just over the top wacky, and surprisingly it works. That's my biggest takeaway. It's like, I thought this would be a dumb thing, but it works.
It looks like when a streamer does one of those challenges where like if they die, they'll put like a new HUD element on. And it's just like you've got the mission and the health and the different activities and the sensor, and then just an order bar at the top.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's amazing.
That's really fucking cool.
I'll be honest, when I saw the press for it, like step appointments at PAX, I was very skeptical. So to find out that it actually worked out, it's something.
Yeah, it is like a co-op game. Hop in with 3 of your friends. Good time.
I'll jump on the co-op train. I found a game that was really neat. This is actually developed by the Arknights developers, but it's like a completely different thing. It's called Popucom, and I'm just gonna read the description on Steam because it explains it better than I could. You play with 3 friends and utilize color switching, match 3 shooting, and companion powers to advance the mysterious foreign world. And embark on an incredible adventure to restore life and bring new hope to a ravaged planet. It is a very neat, very cool co-op game. It's only co-op, so you can play with 2 up to 4 people. And you're assigned a color, but you can also switch between them if you're playing 2. So like I was blue and green, and then somebody else was red, and I don't know, I'm colorblind. I can't remember what the other one was. But,
Other color.
Yeah.
But, gray and a slightly different shade of gray.
It was, I don't know, orange or some shit. But it kind of combines platforming with like teamwork elements, and this kind of Splatoon-esque looking world, although it's not quite the same. Very much the same colors, like bright vibrancy to it. And like you have different types of guns that do different things. So like your gun can shoot at like a colored wall that's blocking your way while you're on a moving platform, and that'll move. And then the next person will then shoot that wall because it's their color, just to kind of give a very basic example. But there's also like these enemies that are like blobs, and so that's where the match 3 mechanic comes in. Like you shoot the blobs and their bodies do some really weird stuff. The physics is super cool in this. And they just start like blowing apart, not in a violent way, because they're just like blobs, but again, it was just such a fun game, and I'm really curious to see more about it because I don't think a lot of people know about it or have heard about it. And what I find again is interesting that it's by the Arknights developers. Like they're just doing something completely new and different. Cool. Since that's a pretty popular mobile game. Right. This is going to be, as far as I know, like a console game, and also on Steam, of course. So yeah, I will be writing up more about that. It's just I feel like it's kind of hard to explain with the colors and all that, but definitely wanted to give it a shout out.
if it helps, when I was looking at it, it reminded me a lot of Azuma's Revenge in the match 3-ness of it, where it's like there's like blobs of colors linked, and you have to shoot your blob into to form color chains.
Yeah. Yep. Very cool.
Yeah. I saw this game called Unyielder. That's pretty rad. I think it's from like a either a solo dev or a small dev studio in Singapore, and it's a first-person shooter roguelite boss rush game. So it's very Doom-ish in its movement, like modern Doom. Dash and double jump, air dashes, crouches, and if you crouch while sprinting, you slide, all that kind of movement shit. That's cool.
The modern boomer shooter kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can basically wave dash without wave dashing kind of shit. And there's a grappling hook that can grapple you straight into the enemy, but the physics for it work in a way where if you latch on but then dash left or right, you kind of like you can kind of like like a pulley system sort of thing, where you kind of skirt around them. Yeah, you can slingshot around them.
Very
so
fun.
you get 3 weapons that you can equip. You can have a bunch in your inventory, and there's stuff that like modifiers, like you reload faster, or you have bigger magazine clips, or you do more headshot damage. That's your like perks that you're getting as you go through in the roguelite fashion. But maybe the coolest thing is that most of the boss's attacks, they have a white flash. Like it's like frame perfect. But if you shoot them on that frame, you counter them, they get stunned, and you can just unload. And it feels pretty cool to do that in a shooter. So it felt good. It was pretty challenging. So I could see myself really like sinking into it and just having fun, like going after these bosses one after the other.
I'm sure much like Neon White, like the trick videos and the speed runs are going to be insane in this. Just like I'm watching a trailer here on the side as well.
That looks really
Neon
White.
Cool.
Yeah. Unyielder is pretty rad. I think they're still aiming for a 2025 release window, so like pretty early, but looks cool.
Cool.
I'll do 2 quick ones because there's a lot of games we played. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. That's the new beat 'em up that we saw at like SGF, and it is I'll just say I haven't seen so many excited people playing a game. They were very hyped up at the demo booth, and because it's co-op, there were like 4 people playing. It's just a really rock solid beat 'em up. I'm not into Power Rangers anymore, but I was. But it's kind of taking me back, and I'm definitely interested to play with some friends on this one. I also checked out a pretty neat title called Eartheon. It's a shoot 'em up. It's developed for the Sega Genesis, and it's only going to be on the Sega Genesis for now. Limited run is published.
Very cool.
Who has one?
I don't know, man. Some people do.
Hey man, I got sent a VHS this year. Retro is in.
Yeah, wait. Is it in your Stretch? Is it in your console bag? Do you have a Genesis in your console bag?
I don't. I've never owned a Sega console. There is a place. There's a retro game store near me. I did get sent a Genesis game from Mega Cat Studios one year, and I was like, "Well, how am I gonna play this?" There is a retro game store about 25-minute drive from me that has a retro console room that have like you can pay $10 to go in and like have unlimited playtime, and they've got like retro consoles, and if you want to like swap out any of the games, you can just ask them. But to review that Sega Genesis game, I took it with me, paid $10 to get in, and then just unplugged whatever game was in there and put in my game and reviewed it there.
That's
like
sick.
On a proper CRT. Everything was perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, and like this game, Eartheon, definitely deserves to be on the CRT because I noticed, in fact, the developer, based in Japan, they like take videos of it running on the CRT, and it looks great, very authentic. I also like kind of considering getting, if I can't get a Genesis, maybe like one of those Retrons or whatever that kind of acts as the Genesis, so that I can take the cartridge. But yeah, it's another game that I don't see a lot of people talking about, probably because it's on the Sega Genesis. But
Yeah.
definitely keep an eye out for it.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much, like, if you, because I mean, you know, a lot of classic games and stuff, the cartridges needed to be that size because of the PCB board, because that's what was required, especially for, you know, when like the Turbo Graphics chip was needed for like a SNES game. I wonder if you can like open up one of those, you know, modern day, and you've just got like a thin PCB and like an SD card plugged into it or something.
Just a tiny little thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. One game I'll speak for on Andrew's behalf here, because he was with us at PAX as well. But he found this game and said to me, "Hey, you need to play this game," and I was like, "Sure thing." It's called Echoes of Mistralia. Not Australia, Mistralia.
Australia.
Mistralia. MYS. I think that it's in a line of games. There's other Mistralia games that are, and they're known for like having really intense spell systems, where like you can really change like the arc of spells, whether it's splits, etc., stuff like that. But Echoes of Mistralia is that system, but they played Hades and were like, I want to do that. So it's Hades, but your weapons have a billion permutations, because you can just change them. Like you can change their traits, and you collect traits as you go through levels. So, for example, the two main weapons I had in my first run through of it was a wind boomerang and a lightning beam. So the boomerang is like you press it and it goes out, stays for a second, then comes back in, right?
Yeah.
And then the lightning one is just you hold it down and it shoots a beam. But then you can modify the boomerang one to be like also like spin a single laser around. So as you throw it out there, it's spinning a laser. And then you can make it leave a trail of fire. So now a trail of fire is being left in the boomerang's path and the laser's path. Or you can get one that makes it forks. Now you throw two boomerangs that are all lasering and all leaving a trail. Or you can apply all that on the lightning one. You can get like a three-way fork. So you just have like a flood of shotgun lightning in front of you that's leaving a trail of fire and freezing enemies or something. You know, it's like that sort of shit, or like it all feels like you're breaking the game, but it's all working as intended. And just attach that to the Hades, like you dash and weave through enemies, go room to room, clear enemies. It's cool.
Balancing that must be some kind of some bitch.
That's the thing. You don't.
like,
Yeah,
like yeah.
I was gonna say, like, there's some roguelites that I've played that, like, if you get, you know, the right items, it's a breeze to walk through the rest of the game. And I have a feeling that like there's gonna be some fucking cracked combo that, you know, will leave the game in tatters.
Yeah. Because yeah, I told them that same thing. I was like, balancing this must be awful. And I think we're in for a pretty cool game when the devs are equally excited about how broken the game can get. That's kind of what excites them the most. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is they limit the numbers. So it's like the more of the modifiers you attach, like the lower damage, like tick, like the tick damage goes down, but the tick rate can increase based on the thing. So that's kind of the math you have to do, is like DPS changes not like by a sheer raw strength, but more of a like how many ticks can you finagle into a single second based on all of your modifiers.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds deep.
Yes. And I think they're aiming for early access. And when they launch in early access, they want to start with 6 base weapons or 6 base spells, which is like, those are the things you modify. So if you have 6 base, and if they're going to add more, and there already is like over 100 spell modifiers that they're working on.
That's
math. Yeah.
Somebody needs to do the math.
Yeah.
It's a lot of variations.
Cool. Well, I think this has been a really fun chat and highlighting, you know, some of the stuff that probably a lot of people haven't had a chance to hear about. So that's very cool. There's a lot of very interesting stuff going on outside of the big companies. If you want to check out more of those, we're going to have previews. We've got a load of previews up now, and we've got even more that will be coming out. Also, on our website, techraptor.net. You can sign up to join the newsletter. And aside from that, we will be back this time next week. Thank you very much, all.
Bye-bye.